I think that it's a matter of opinion that he's championing. I just promised all my mentors that I was going to be a good boy. Can I laugh in your face?
A little of this, a little of that. Dim sum brothers united, making sense. We're bums. Eat this, then eat a Tums. I don't finish until the speaker comes. Not around the dinner table, around the kids. I got hors d'oeuvres, a moose boosh. I am a nerd, you probably a gooch. One to dial is the man. He's in my group, and I'm a fan.
I like my chances in a standoff. Strong eye, snap on 3, inside handoff. Chocolate, 3/4 high, shells with Levi's on. GRYSKLL, dim some dudes to keep your eyes on.
This is lyrical murder. Niggas won't be the ones flipping the burgers. McDonald's ass rappers just a bunch of clowns. We praying Nubian punks, so jump up and get beat down. GRYSKLL, that's the name to get used to. We grab mics and spit bars till our face blue. We bring in that dirty feel you call despicable. What we do with beats might as well call criminal.
Yes, I wish the guy were the best. But tough guy? No. Do I think he's a martial artist? No.
I think that I just want to go on record and say the boy Tobias is in the house, yo. I know we know it.
Oh, respect, Mr. Tobias.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so the boy Tobias, he told me today he was coming. I didn't want to say nothing because but yeah, the boy.
What up, T?
Tobias made some moves in the past 4 to 6 weeks, yo, that need to be applauded. So congrats, my guy.
Respect.
Happy to see you.
The house purchase is what?
To see y'all.
Sorry, I had to give you that L on Felipe's garage, but outside of that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is the rhymes in? Is the battle rhymes in?
Yeah, they in. I don't even know if it's really battle rhymes. I don't know what he did. Like mine, it was more bars. It might have been a line in there that could be considered a battle line. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting one way or the other. But I told him from the jump, like, yo, it'll be straight hip hop. I'm not going at nothing personal. I would not do it before I went on some crab stuff like that with my man. I wouldn't do that to really anybody in the garage, but definitely not my man. So yeah, it was more hip hop than anything. But it was kind of funny how, so Cook was half telling the truth. He hit us Sunday night like, yo, it's kind of quiet around here. You know what I'm saying? And I was at the fair with the family. And we was texting that day. I was like, yo, I'm trying to get home. I got to try to record. And I told Alex, like, yo, man, they're not about to clown us. You know what I'm saying? So, Cook was like, well, we actually recording Wednesday. I was like, oh, bet. I'll definitely have something to you before then. But yeah, so everything is in. So I guess we'll hear about it Thursday.
Wait, what? Y'all about to spit y'all bar tonight?
Yeah, I haven't heard the whole story from start to finish. Like, how did this start?
So here's the 30,000 foot view, yo. Cookbook was talking about they talking about whether they're gonna go past episode 200 on the podcast, right? So they asked people to kind of submit ideas for what they might like to see to keep the pod going. And Cookbook started off like, yo, I think the MCs in the pod should battle. So he basically said me and Tobias, right? So I hit Alex like, yo, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of with it. I think it would be cool, kind of funny to do.
Can you put me on the toilet?
Come on. Why didn't you just go, son?
Hurry up and get him on the toilet. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Brother Rashid run a tight ship around there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but basically, man, they hit us up and they call it a friendly game of baseball where we just spitting bars. So ain't really no battle. But on episode 194, man,
a spar.
Cook had little jokes, man. It's because I had something that came up, so I couldn't get my 16 in. My 16 was done. I just couldn't record it. So he had little jokes on the last podcast. He called me Tobias Whack. Said little jokes. I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to rewrite my verse a little bit, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So that worked. Okay.
Oh, you.
So I don't know how he gonna take it. So I ain't saying nothing personal, but I did call out some people on that. So y'all hear it tomorrow.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you ordered these lyrics spicy, huh?
Right. Hey man, even though we having a friendly game of baseball, it's all fun and games, man. I ain't taking the whack joke, man. You ain't calling me whack.
Oh, you ordered hot wings, literally. Okay, got you. I thought it was just gonna be lemon pepper. Oh, right. Oh no, you. Oh, right. Hot sauce in my bag, swag. I see. Right. Okay.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be funny, interesting. So
they recording tonight, by the way.
Oh, they are.
Or at least they supposed to be.
Oh, okay. So yes, we'll hear something tomorrow then.
So man, I'm gonna have to check this one out, man. I'm missed out on all it.
But I think that's like what Midskool was saying, because they're out there. You see what I'm saying? Black Mavericks is out there. So Tobias Black is out there. So for him to say Tobias whack, it struck a chord with you, right?
Sure.
So
right.
that's what your name is for. You see what I'm saying? Because it also played. I think this is what Midskool. This is how I took it. You know, because your name also plays defense, but at the same time, there's a side that people can play toward you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That
gets you riled up enough to get to where you need to be as an MC, as a man, and all that good stuff.
Facts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I know he joking. That's how Cook joke. You know what I'm saying? But still, you put
bring out something too.
Huh?
But you know that was on purpose.
Bring out something too. That's an elder MC trick, man.
Right. I took the bait.
Yeah,
poke the band a little bit.
Yeah. How you gonna go to the gym and have bars with no weight on? Come on, man.
Right.
That's facts. But it's cool. You know what I'm saying? This is just great publicity. You know what I'm saying?
But can I ask, as an MC, this is for everybody. You know, I just want to say the idea of permanence is very powerful. Like once something is on wax or on digital, that's there. And then you know, like we're all in the game, right? And then it's kind of like, even though we're friends, that's there. I mean, how do you all feel about that? Is that, you know, is it like a let it slide thing? Is it like it's just like this is the Game of Thrones, and it shall be what it shall be. Nothing personal, but now swords got to come out. Let's go. How do you feel
I'll
about
take that first. Yo, I'll keep it a buck. This was probably one of the hardest verses I ever had to write because I know Alex personally. Like, actually, in the end of my verse on that song was like a warning shot to anybody else in the garage. Like, yo, this was my man, so I ain't even go like I would go, but trust me, don't ask for it unless you really want it, right? And everybody I know in the garage already got bars. Like, matter of fact, it was stuff that I had wrote or thought about, but Alex, I'm like, yo, nah. I actually was like, yeah, I will lose to Alex, and then just come back like, all right, let's get anybody else that want it. I'll catch up in round 2. But I think there's a certain amount of respect that goes along with MCing, like, and I would never do the whole, like, I think there's certain things, battle or not, that are just off limits. You know what I'm saying? And I would lose again before I went there, regardless of who the person is. But like, even Cook, like I got stuff for Cook that I'm like, yeah, if it gets there, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But you know, it'll be what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And I would hope that he would come at me the same way. You know what I'm saying? So the Alex joint was more difficult probably because I'm like, yo, how do you? It's like going at yourself almost. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of weird in that regard. But yeah, I do agree though. Like I definitely ain't submitting no like. Well, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Like you gonna know we was in it. You know what I'm saying? And I would expect that you had did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You gonna know that we was in it. But yeah, anybody else though? Yeah, it's all right. Well, what's the submission date? Sunday? All right, I got you. All right.
Right. Okay.
But let me just say this: is from what I wrote, I think it's gonna start something. and I ain't go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not disrespectful at all with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all fun and games. You know what I'm saying? So I did some punchlines with people's names. You know what I'm saying? So I think they probably gonna take it like, oh, he calling us out. You know what I'm saying? Like so. GRYSKLL, just be ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think is levels to it, right? And I would almost take an L and then be like, oh, all right, that's what we doing. All right, well, if we come face to face again, just know. But for anybody else, I don't think there's like the only other person, like he mentioned Damon last week or maybe the week before, and I was like, dang, yo, how would I go at Damon? Like I was trying to think of how I would kind of frame, but the funny thing, like we rhyme so differently. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay, gotcha.
The variances in our styles. I was like, yo, I don't even know if I could meet him at some of the stuff that he's familiar with. So I would almost have to play on that and almost like try to neutralize some of what I see as your weapons before you got to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that strategy, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of thinking about how you would go at that. To my answer to your question, Midskool, is yes, I think there are boundaries. My boundaries are much more narrow with people that I know. Now, if I was like walked into some random open mic night and it's like, all right, you versus Bull, I don't know that dude. Everything is on the table. You know what I'm saying? But I think it is more difficult to be creative. See what I did there?
Yeah.
But I think it's more difficult to be. I think it's more difficult to be creative in that space where you're trying to show somebody that you know that you respect them enough as an adversary to put bars together, but you also respect them enough as a person to not stoop to a level that's potentially hazardous to your relationship for somebody like, all right, yo, you had better bars than that than he did. Like it don't mean that much to me. So, but again, in some random spot, open mic night, I'm going at your jugular. But even thinking about Damon, I'm like, yo, I don't know how I would approach it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a respect.
Yeah, but how could I go at you? You know what I'm saying? I would have to. Yeah.
So like, but that's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? Even like I said, even Cook. I asked her, I was like, yo, all right, so if I know I cook, I can slide this in here, hit him with a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? But
no, I said I don't think for me personally, hip hop is hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna battle, you're gonna battle. But like Wonder Dial said, if I know you personally, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't take it that route. Like I would just be on some I'm the magnificent, my bars is better type flow. You know what I'm saying? Because even like in Wu-Tang, they all go against each other. They all go against like who got the better bars. Yo, I can't let Meth outshine me. I can't let Deck outshine me. And then like if Deck outshine them, you know, they give him his props and then they slide to the next beat, you know what I'm saying, and try to outdo each other. I think that would probably happen the same way in GRYSKLL, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I can't let the girl do mine. out rap me in this verse, or I mean, it already happened. You know what I'm saying? Like the summertime joint. Like I ain't even want to rap on that after I heard his verse. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the healthy spirit of competition.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's different. Like you know stuff about me, I know stuff about you that we could easily put in something like,
Right.
now I got to see the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
That's not even about hip hop no more. Like I told you that confidence, or you know what I mean, you spend time on my house and you gonna come at me like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not hip hop anymore. And that's not hip hop anymore. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? That's my point.
Yeah, because you guys have a brotherhood to protect. You have to protect the brotherhood.
Right. I think we all do it to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? And that's really my point. Why I keep stressing so much if I know you versus if I don't. You know what I'm saying? And it would also the thing about the way that they have it set up is it makes you think about how bad do you really want you were the best MC on the garage this week title. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
That you know to hear it, like I know I can rhyme. I know I can get grimy. I know I can be educational. I know I can cover the gamut. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something I need validation on. But
I want to say this: the best part of, in my opinion, the best part of 8 Mile. I know we all seen 8 Mile. The best part to me is him going back to work at the end. He was going to work, bringing it all back down, going back to work, back to that 8 Mile road, right? So let's take a couple of steps back of how Cook could end up saying something like that. Okay, they're thinking about ending the show, all right? So they need help. They're really calling on the power of GRYSKLL. He said, GRYSKLL, where y'all at? Demand, one to Dial.
Absolutely.
They need us. So it was just something. I gotta say something. The last, you know, the sky's falling at this point. Tobias, I bet y'all can. Tobias Black. You know, one to Dial. You know, 3 to Dial. You know, it's like a pulling. It's a force because he knows that we have something special here. You see what I'm saying?
I think it's a respect. I think it's a respect from a artist and from fans that you can deliver. You know what I'm saying?
With Wu-Tang, it seemed like they didn't, even though Raekwon is standing here and Meth is standing there, they battled up here. It didn't necessarily go straight directly at Raekwon where your mama stink and I'ma do this thing. They built the battle was how much further higher can I go than you versus how much can I tear you down? How much more can I build you up? Because if you want to take me out, you got to build up to get up there versus taking you down. That's where rap is right now. I kill this and I murder that, running your house and splat. None of that is happening. We know that, right? So but they got to give us the illusion as if they would do that, you know, create fear. But with Wu, in my opinion, it felt like they were battling above the clouds where the sounds are original. Infinite skills create miracles. Oh my goodness, right? Inspector Deck and Guru. That song, they up there battling in the clouds, above the clouds. It's such a metaphor war up there.
Kind of like Tobias was saying a second ago. Like you bring certain people around you because you want to test where you're at. You know what I'm saying? People that want to really be in it don't look for people they don't respect or they feel like they can walk over lyrically. It's like hooping, right? If I go to the courts and I see a bunch of people that can't hoop, for me to go out there and start acting like I'm Jordan because I can, it's pointless. I'll start playing left-handed. Not to be disrespectful to them, but this is an opportunity for me to be in a competitive series and sharpen my skills. You see what I'm saying? But if I go to the courts and, you know, Midskool is there, Steve is there, Bear is there, Pitch is there, and y'all cats is out there getting it, then I got to get in that frame of mind. I either leave because I don't think I can compete, or I'm coming out there trying to show y'all I belong out there with you. Or better yet, when I leave, I'm like, yo, who the hell was that? Like, where this dude come from? You know what I'm saying? And that I feel the same way about MCing. I don't want to be around you if you whack. You know what I'm saying? I want your best. I want to be like, damn, I gotta go back and rewrite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
How did it end up being y'all two going at each other though?
So here's what happened. Here's honestly what happened. Cook said it as a joke. He's like, yo, you know, because we could do like, I don't know, like one to Dial and Tobias. And then he started laughing. He's like, yo, the funny thing is those dudes are in a crew. And I hit Tobias. I was like, yo, they said it on the show. And I would do it. But here's my stipulation. And I actually hit him before we went back to Cook. And I was like, yo, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's on some lyrical stuff, I'm with it. But, like, I would never go outside of lyrics. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm with it. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like a cocky, it was just like, yo, a respect thing. So then I went back to Cook like, yo, I think I put it in the chat. I was like, yo, I'll do it, but it's just gonna be on some lyrical stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then so he said it on the next show, like, yo, I didn't even expect them to step up, but they both agreed to do it. But to me, I was thinking about the Felipe's audience more so than I was really about battle.
There you go.
It's like, yo, there's cats in here that know we make music that don't know we make music or haven't heard a single song. You know what I'm saying? So I would do this for that pub. You know what I'm saying? And that was my whole logic. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, in the verse, I made it clear to cats like, yo, this is light work. Don't get fucked up. You can let this fool you if you want. Come get it. You know what I'm saying? But so that it started as a joke.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rashid.
No, go
can
ahead,
I ask?
you good.
I'm just so curious. Where does, for all the rappers, I still want to get Mr. Steve and T Bear's idea also, and Pitchfork's Tobias Black's ideas about that, about the battle rap and so forth. But I'm just curious as a linguist, the confidence that you have, is it from practice? Is it from battles? Is it from, like, where do you get that confidence from? I'm just curious, and that's for everybody. Actually,
it comes from being at the basketball courts and thinking you can rhyme, and then somebody telling you very clearly that you need to go back and practice. You know what I'm saying? It comes from being at the course and battling somebody. Is
there a story? Do you have any stories like that? Like, like when I was a kid, that one guy, he did that.
Here's a. So I'll give you some quick kind of just highlights. I call him my cousin, my man James. One of the dopest MCs on the planet, yo. And the first time we were in the same room rhyming, I was like, I got to get better. I have got to get better. And we have a song called Steel. And I think I may have mentioned this in an earlier chat, but Steel was the first song we did where I felt like my lyrics held water when being compared to James' lyrics. Like, I thought he was that much better than me. But every time I wrote, from the first time I heard him rhyme, I was writing to be better than James. Like, he was my target. And we can make a strong argument that I still haven't gotten there. Some people would say they prefer me to him. I would probably say I prefer him to me most times. But I do know there were some songs we did together. I'm like, all right, I probably had the better verse on that. We did a joint at Rutgers one time. We did, actually, it was like almost a hip hop symposium. And at the end, we had MCs coming up. And there was some younger cats that were rhyming about shooting up the neighborhood and all that. And I remember telling them, dudes like, yo, that's not even, like, you're not doing that though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not what you're doing. But I remember that vividly because all of his verses were more about kind of stuff that I just couldn't relate to. And I remember leaving there like, yo, I can see how parts of the people that were there would say, I got that off. And other parts would be like, yo, the young boy was killing him. You know what I'm saying? And I had to be mindful of that. My man Tef Sunset in Virginia, we was hooping one night. And this was, I've been here for 11 years. This was probably 06, 07. I had quit rhyming, but I still had rhymes in my backpack. You know what I'm saying? Like joints I remember. So we was at the courts. And, we was hooping, and he was like, I don't care about this ball. I bet you can't beat me rhyming. And in my head, I'm like, who you talking to? You don't know me. So he was right. I couldn't beat him rhyming. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we got down to it, I was like, and the funny thing is, I had such a low expectation what he was going to bring to the table. I actually freestyled the first verse I did, like straight freestyle. And it was, in retrospect, that shit was garbage. And then he came out with like a kind of filler joint. And I was like, all right, he got something. So I said a joint, then he hit me with a banger. Boom. I was like, oh shit. Now I'm in a joint like, all right, what I got that can match that? So I said a joint that was decent. And I was like, oh, he came with something stronger. Bow. I was like, yo, I don't know if I can match this. And at that point, I started writing again. And I actually, the first rhyme I wrote after that, I wrote specifically for him, because the illest thing he said to me that whole day, like this stuck in my mind, and partly because I knew it wasn't true. But he was like, dog, I got rubber bands that seem more money than you. And I was like, like that shit resonated with me, yo. I'm like, yo, that's hard, yo. God, I don't even have nothing to come back at that. And like, I was driving home thinking all the stuff I could have said. I'm like, wait a second, you've been at my house. You know you don't got more money than me. But the reality is, he fed me, yo. He gave me the business. And I at that moment, I started writing again. Because it proved to me that it was still in my heart. And it proved to me that I didn't want to be in that situation again, yo. But he gave me every bit of the business I could handle and then some. And those are three very specific instances that I remember. And Tobias, I credit Tobias for pulling me out of retirement. We was in a group chat and he was working on his album and he was like, yo, anybody want to do a feature on a song? And I jokingly replied like, yeah, I'll throw something on. He's like, I'm gonna send you some beats.
Oh, I missed out on that. Damn it.
Fire beats.
I remember
Gosh, so I'm like, I was listening to it like, yo. So we did the mumble joint. And, that beat just stuck with me. So I was like, yo, like a day and a half, 2 days later, I sent him a verse. He was like, what I owe you? I was like, nothing, dog. Like, man, this for the love, you know what I'm saying? But that was kind of what really got me back to writing pretty consistent. But yeah, man, those 3 or 4 instances are all very specific points through the past probably 35 years, 38 years that I remember vividly. And each of those had a profound impact because each time I felt like I had to get better. And even if I didn't think I could win, I had to sound like I thought I was winning to kind of get whoever was around on my side. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a part of it, that bravado, that confidence. You know what I mean? So.
Wait, can I just suggest somewhere a song called Bravado?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you can.
I'm
writing that down. Yeah. There go Demond with the pad. I can count on Demond to have that pad.
Brother
Mr. Steve the Voice, what is your take on any of these topics?
Well, I noticed, especially with you being a comic book aficionado. Forgive me if I slaughtered that, but the vibe that when I was first listening to Brother Rashad, I noticed that he reminds me of Batman in Justice League. Anybody that is familiar with Batman is that Batman is absolutely for the squad, 1,000%, and has no problem dispatching any enemies. He'll put a man in a coma for stealing a loaf of bread in the city of Gotham. So he's got no problem with that. But he also has a contingency plan against every single member of the Justice League in case
Come on with it.
Go rogue.
For sure.
So, you know, I thought about that. You know, of course, when that information leaked out, everybody was pissed. But Batman understood the level of enemies that they were facing were entities that could do mind control, entities that, you know, use psychic abilities and contingency plans and things of that nature that you're talking about for example, there's almost nobody on the team that can take on like Princess Diane in a hand-to-hand combat because she's like 5,000 years old and is just practically as fast as Flash in terms of combat setting. So if someone took over her body, she would be a severe problem for everyone. Martian Manhunter, any one of these guys, you're talking about if Flash was taken over. This is a man who's able to go back in time with speed alone. This is a person that can phase right through material entities. And if he were to go rogue, he'd be a problem. But the thing is what a few people paid attention to is Batman even has a contingency plan for himself, which you're talking about a man who knows 128 different martial arts. He's got white privilege on his side, and he's got the mind of a detective, you know. And so if he goes rogue, he's an absolute problem. So he's got a contingency plan for not only the entire Justice League, but also himself, due to the potential for harm should the mentality go in the wrong direction. So I find that to be, I understand where it just, the parallel was really interesting. I understand where he's coming from. The other thing that I thought about was martial art masters that would spar against each other to elevate. And sometimes it was an insult. And this is only in certain cases, because there were guys who were literally sparring and it was friendly matches as they are practicing a craft, practicing particular moves that they were trying to strengthen. But then there would be others that would be insulted if you pull any punches. I'm expecting nothing less than your best. Don't insult me. And everybody, you know, I understand that it's, I understand the dichotomy of both being respectful, but coming with all the smoke and heat and brimstone that you want on the track, especially because we're trying to demonstrate the power of our unit. So ain't no half stepping when you pulling your weapon, you know, in that regard. So
Tie it all back together.
Right. All right, episode over. Good night, y'all.
Right.
Tied it up with a nice little bow. It's like, man, that's beautiful. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Just preparing a meal. That's all.
Beautiful.
You know, but that was what I noticed. Those were themes that were going in my mind. You know, Mark, you mentioned Wu-Tang Clan. You mentioned, you know, I was thinking about it, how these guys are in the clouds, and I'm wondering, you know, was it a double entendre when they said that they were above the clouds, but these clouds made of weed smoke as they reach higher and higher levels while still being grounded. I thought of a lot of things that were, just a higher level of what we're discussing here. We understand that maximum respect is given, but respect is kind of like a love language. It's different depending on who you're dealing with. Some people, like for example, the 5 love languages. One is verbal affirmation, one is material, another one is service, another one different. Love means different things. So even if you feel that you're giving love to somebody, that might not be love to them. And in the same way, respect is also different depending on who your challenger or who your challenger is. Respect might be, no, give me all the smoke. I came here to come with it. I listen, and I'm bringing an ass whipping with me, but no fatalities, And on the other hand, you might have somebody, hey, we're here. This is a friendly match. We are demonstrating. We're demonstrating ability here, but no, we do no harm. We're here to practice. So I get it. So in this instance, it's like a card game. What rules are we playing by? Are we doing deuces wild, or are we doing straight up? Well, how are we? What are the rules of engagement? That will determine everything. Are we demonstrating? Are we doing this for the love? Are we putting on? Are we letting people know? What we coming with? Because if that's the case, then we're coming with smoke because the world is watching. Are we going against each other as a test of skill to really elevate one another? Are we teaching lessons, or what are we about? So that's a lot of things. That's a lot to take care of. But that's what the if we're lyricists here, then we should be masters of communication anyway.
Okay.
Well,
my bad.
I'm sorry. I gotta just say, I just, oh my God, what's happening here, man? The voice, yo. I don't know how it's possible, yo, but work it out somehow. Sample what he just said, right? That's the intro. That's the intro.
I was thinking
that's the interlude. That's the other interlude. That's some snippet for the social media advertisement. Then you got like, yo, what you want? Some brimstone? Next track, nothing less than your best. Whatever you got, let's go. Let's go. And just come at it. Nothing less than your best. Let's go. Who won it? Practice?
I feel like
practice?
On
You
top
talking
of
about, practice? Yo, this is practice, son. I don't even have to come at you like, I'm not even coming at you real. This is just practice. Yo, it's just practice. All right, this ain't even a real game. Rules of engagement. Yo, the world is. I gotta do this. The world is watching. Teach. I want to do that one. Yo, what we coming with? Right. Interludes. The voices right there. This is a whole project right there. And nobody get all serious with it either. And write rhymes for 2 weeks. This is you guys just come through. Just yo, quickly. What you got for today? Boom. Every Tuesday, do one, boom. It's just a whole project right there. I don't know what it's called. Is it called Brimstone? I don't know what it's called.
That's at least a song. That's a song of bare minimum.
Brimstone.
But
yo,
in a very strange way. My bad.
No, you go, bro.
I'm saying in a very strange way, Midskool just proved Steve's point from earlier about the voice in the bass heavy track with that very simple statement you were making. You know what I'm saying? In a very strange way, he just solidified that thought makes sense, and maybe even on a grander scale, than what we were thinking initially. You know, your idea is great, but then it may, you know, we can extend that beyond even just that that quick
that idea,
and shy back to what we were saying earlier. You know, maybe that's one. We talked about doing this. Maybe this is the start of that. You know, a Zoom session. We make the beat. Everybody writes on the session, and like Midskool just said, you know, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Joe, put your best stuff down on this drink.
Yeah.
Everybody got it. Everybody goes back to record, and boom, see what you have.
Right. Yeah, there's no more practice.
But imagine the footage from that when you show, like, you know, here's the making of Brimstone or whatever it is, and like it's an hour and a half Zoom call, and then you're like, oh snap, they really did this joint on the fly in that hour and a half or what have you. You know, from creation, the beat, rhymes, the whole kit and caboodle in an hour and a half. You got the behind the scenes becomes your making of, and then you got your end result.
That's almost like and we could potentially bring that back, because that's like what did that shit.
Static Selector and Bun B just did that shit.
Where they picked the sample and they chopped it up and wrote to it.
You talking about I didn't know. Yeah, but
that Bun B thing that was different.
It's what was that called? I know what you're talking about. You go, they blindfold you, select 3 records.
Yeah.
Rhythm Roulette.
Rhythm Roulette. Yeah.
Rhythm Roulette.
That's just the beats though. What they do with the roulette, right?
Yeah.
I love
but
that.
the one he's talking about, Rhapsody came through and spit a verse in the one of Night Wonders joints.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, a couple people did that. They did that one.
Yeah, it's a couple.
Large
I
Professor
think,
did it too.
Oh yeah,
I think
Big
Crit said something to his drink too, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Shit,
It's been a minute since I watched, man. It's been a minute.
David Banner, a bunch of people did it.
I ain't watching.
I'm definitely with that, man. You know, my time and space couldn't open up, so.
Yeah, especially if y'all doing this thing on Felipe's, where y'all gotta y'all fighting with one hand behind y'all back. I think we definitely gotta give y'all a chance to let all fire loose right after that too.
Yeah.
I mean
Nice.
I'm not even worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it ain't a worry. It ain't a worry.
Again, keep it a buck. It was. I said I was gonna do it. I did it. Just understand.
It's dope too.
No, nobody else gets this grace. So if you want to put your name in the hat, I would gladly meet you at the crossroads.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, man. It's
crossroads and cross swords.
Right.
For the record, I'm glad y'all did this, man. I think it's amazing that y'all did this. I'm impressed and proud
I think
of
it was dope. Like,
it's amazing.
I think
it's genius to me.
Dope that we did it. Yeah, and like I said, more than anything, I was looking at the marketing opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the thing. That's you know what I mean. So,
and the opportunity to set an example too. Shit.
The bigger picture, yeah.
And people know that there are rules to this shit, and there are lines that need to be drawn. I think Midskool was asking in the chat, like, is there such thing as too far? I forgot how he put it, but I mean, you guys can kind of show, like, yo, no, it's my man out there. There's a line. There are lines I'm not gonna cross, and there are lines I'm not gonna cross with people who even aren't my people.
Yeah, like I definitely would lose before I said something. Like I'm still not used to this internet thing where you can say whatever you want because nobody can put their hands on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I still don't. I'm not. Nah, did you say you in Philly? I'll be there a couple hours. Like I'm not. I haven't really. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that fully yet. So. I always keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying?
I noticed there was this other concept that I thought about when it comes to the ideal of being a warrior, from whatever level you're at. There were some samurai warriors that they believed that every time that their sword was unsheathed, and I'm talking about for any reason at all, that they were required to draw blood. Required. If I pull that sword, it has to. If I pull it, it's got to draw blood. Even if I'm cleaning it, So if I'm just cleaning it, if I pull it out, I gotta nick myself in order to, because that's ain't no half stepping when I'm pulling my weapon.
That's
but
right.
I just thought that ideal was, you know, where it's like, you know, where Rashid is like, even if I have to sacrifice myself in the battle, like that pain has to be applied in some way, in some form, you know, one way or the other. Even if I have to take an L by design, even if I have to harm myself, the battle will be had. And it's kind of, so I just thought it's just an interesting ideal of warriorship, if that's even a word, but warrior mentality. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's very cool.
If I grab this mic, somebody got to bleed.
Yeah.
Yo, Midskool asked a question earlier too, man. He asked how battle rap has changed since the beginning. Is that something that anybody else can speak on? That is a good question. I do wonder, like, how it's evolved, and like, is it much worse than it used to be now, or do people feel like it's the same story? I wasn't there at the root, so I can't speak on it. Shit, I guess you qualified to speak on it.
About how battle rap was back then and how it is now.
Yeah, how it's evolved, and is it better or worse now? Is it more reckless now than ever, or is it, you know, pretty much the same thing as before?
I think, me personally, I think it's I probably would say it's a little better. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to, something good has to get better. You know what I'm saying? For something to thrive, it can't stay at the level it's always at. It has to get better. You know what I'm saying? I think what they're doing is, as far as like the battle rap scene, you know what I'm saying? It's a little more, it's more controlled. You know what I'm saying? And they don't, they cross all lines. You know what I'm saying? But I think they still have that level of respect to where, you know, they keeping it a sport. You know what I'm saying? When they be crossing lines, when they get to start touching each other, you know, putting their hands on them, doing all in their face, you know what I'm saying? That's when it start getting a little heated, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the nature of the sport, you know what I'm saying? Like you automatically, you just got to know what you're stepping into, you know. But I think battle rap is dope, man. You know, at first I wasn't really into it too much because I like to hear it on wax. I like to hear beats, you know what I'm saying? What can you do on a beat, you know? But they be having some clever lines. Like if you look past all the gun lines and how many guns they got, you know, some of them be having some dope clever lines, man. You know, I think it's a little better than what it was back then, you know.
And I think it's
put their hands on somebody else in the 70s or 80s in a battle and not have it turn into something crazy.
Say it again. What you say?
Oh, I was saying that, do you think somebody could have put their hands on somebody in the 70s or 80s in a battle and not have it turn into something else?
Nah,
I don't think that would have happened. Nah.
And
Yeah,
I think
the difference is there.
Yeah, I think it's. I think battling is two distinct things now, too, right? There's like the battle leagues, which are definitely a different skill set. You know, kind of like what Tobias was just saying. I appreciate that stuff, but I could not compete in that environment. Like I can't take that long to build a concept. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to a lot of that stuff, the what they go through to build the concept for the punchline is otherworldly sometimes. But the payoff on a lot of that stuff is incredible. Yeah. Versus like if you think about 1 second, baby.
Don't say bars. Don't say bars Don't say punchline is not good.
Saying punchline's not good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
all
want
right.
otherwise.
Okay, you had to get down if you don't stop. Okay. But if you think about like what to like a Black Thought going against maybe a Royce or even Royce and Lupe, it was it was a different. Even though like I still think some of that stuff got a little out of pocket. You know, I shoot just some with the corn chips in his hand or whatever. That's a little rough. But it was still, it was lyrical and it was rhythmic. It wasn't the same as that battle scene where again the parameters are much wider because you got this different type of freedom to build up to your punchline. But and even in that battle scene, like the boy from Philly that committed suicide not long ago, he was hilarious to me. I didn't think he was that dope of an MC as far as like just like yo, I would have never thought of that. But the way he delivered his stuff, was it Tech Nine? But you know, he's like talking about killing somebody. He was like, I just add a little bleach and get the stain with the mop. I'm like, I dig it. He was like, talking about somebody's apartment. He's like, it's so small, I'm already at the back door as soon as I step in. Again, not creative at all, but just hilarious and very effective because of his approach. Where there's the other guy that was like, he was talking about stabbing somebody. He was like, I just keep jabbing and jabbing, like I'm trying to put on a seatbelt and it won't lock. And then like you get that visual, like trying to put your seatbelt on. I'm like, yo, that's bananas. Totally different. You couldn't get, I don't think you could get that bar to resonate in a song. You would lose your audience trying to put that bar together. But seeing it visually in that setting is like, oh my, yo, that's bananas, yo. How did you think like that? So I definitely think it's a skill set, and it's a dope skill set. But,
Daddy.
Yeah, so.
Daddy. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. That plays a big role in it. That's dope, man.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Shorty just said punch lines. They're called punch lines. You cannot not be affected by someone's punch line. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna punch you, line you up, get them the fuck out, get them out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Supposed to leave an impact.
Right.
Well, it was to your point, Demond. That's kind of what MCing was built on, right? Yo, my punchlines are better than you, and they've just taken it to a totally different level. I ain't mean to cut you off. I'm just like your point is 100% valid. Yo, I didn't even think about it from that perspective, but yeah, that's
right.
Dope.
But unless you take it back to where did you pick up at? This is why some people rap the way they rap. This is why some people have the influence they have. Where did you pick up at? Did you pick up with 3-6 Mafia, for instance? Did you pick up at Curious George? Did you pick up with De La? Did you pick up at The Message, which is for me? I like The Message, and I think a reference to The Message keeps things on a universal level for me personally. You know what I'm saying? So for me to go at somebody, but this is what I wanted to say. All right, get that out of there. My favorite line again: 8 Mile, 1 Pac, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, none, da 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 done. So simple, but it plays on the 2 Pac, 1 Pac, 3 Pac, and it plays on that all y'all trying to be gangster. Now I'm going back to Eminem because Eminem defeated a friend of mine, Juice. It's in the document. Juice is in the documentary.
Yeah.
Juice is
you know Juice.
I know Juice. Yes.
Okay. Word.
Yes, I know Juice.
Yeah, Juice is one of the illest, yo.
He was the illest, right? Until he lost. Until you lost the battle, your career is gone. Your creativity's gone. You see what I'm saying? From a battle, Eminem went way up here. He went so low. He's got a GoFundMe. I think he got a project coming out because people reaching out to him now because it was a certain documentary on Eminem that included him, and I think he should, but he's defeated. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to see how his creativity never took off versus his mental freestyle battle. That's great. You can freestyle battle. That's great. You can put a Tech 9 and bullets in so fast that shoot me in my knee cap to my bleed cap. That's takes some creativity. I give you that. But what are you gonna do when the lights on? When it's time to put
a different skill set. It's a totally different skill set. It's a totally different skill set.
And the skill set is survival, not fighting.
Is there?
You know what I'm saying?
Forgive me, fellas, if I may interject.
Go for it.
Is there such a thing as, and when it comes to battle rap, I'm not a battle rapper. I'm just a voiceover artist. But is there such a thing as a battle rap mixtape? Just official, just battle rap mixtapes.
Yeah.
I think there are.
I'm saying as an artist saying that these are my battle raps.
I don't know if artists per se have them. That's kind of how the Locks got their pub though. They was their mixtapes were heavily influenced with kind of battle rap themed material. You know what I'm saying? So you could argue that's an example, but like the battle leagues and those guys having stuff, I don't know. And one thing that's very interesting about them, and I think there's the point you were just making about Juice, a lot of those skill sets do not transition well to music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can even think about the dude, the boy Ness from Making the Band. Ness was dope, but he just couldn't put it over music. And even the dude he was battling on Making the Band.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the other homie name, but again, who was it?
Chopper? You talking about the dude from New Orleans?
Nah, not Chopper. The other dude,
Dylan.
Not Dylan. This dude wasn't even in the Making the Band. He wasn't even in the Making the Band. He was like one of Diddy's other cats. And Diddy pitted him and Ness against each other on an episode, but I can't remember who it was. But he actually had a joint, and but that a lot of that stuff just doesn't transition well to music, man.
That's like Cassidy.
Yeah, Cassidy might be a dope example, and I think Cassidy actually had a decent run as far as making decent cannabis. Even though LL kind of did Can dirty, but Cannabis is another dude. But I think Cannabis had the right mix of bananas punchlines with rhythmic delivery. I think he had the right mix. I think his mix was so right it cost him his career. You know what I'm saying? Because he was bodying everything he got on. And if you make L go back and rewrite something after he heard your joint trying to get at you specifically,
when you get off the car, can I have some juice?
You gonna go lay back down a little bit?
Honestly, my heart, I got a soft spot for Cannabis because his talent was really there, and after that whole L went down, and then he tried to come back recently, and then brought a few years ago, and brought a notepad, had to break out a notepad in the middle of a battle, and I'm like, this is a man. Right. I'm like, this is a man who's like, my mind is like twin penny of chips. That's twice the speed of a 586. And I'm a computer nerd saying, oh, snap, son. He's talking about speed of processors and using it in a battle. He's like, I'm just, he had potential was unlimited, but I'm told that he struggled with production, especially with what's his name, Wyclef.
Wyclef.
Yeah. His beat selection is big too. And it's weird because I like his project. I thought his project was dope. But again, I was listening for the lyric content more so than the production value. But when you listen to it, you're like, this is not the best as far as it kind of KRS syndrome, right? Or even Nas syndrome. Like, you gotta let somebody else pick the beats, homie. Like,
I'm
let somebody
wondering
else run your beats, yo.
I wonder if he could re-release that album with just better beat selection. If the GRYSKLL team even wanted to take a project like that on and be like, all right, Cannabis had lyrics, but let's do his production right, and experiment with that, because at least to expose people to the type of lyricism that he came with. Because I personally, it hurts me to see this man go out with a notepad. Like that. I'm like, you can't. I'm like, did someone pay him to do this? Like, what? Was
I know that feeling though, because that's how I felt at that basketball court that day against Tough Sunset. I was like, I don't nothing for this dude, boy. He's killing me. Can we just stop? You win. Mercy.
Yeah, I know the feeling now too. Because I mean, if anybody ever asked me to rhyme, I'm like, dude, I remember one rhyme, and I'm lucky if I remember that whole rhyme anytime I deliver it. I've written thousands of rhymes. I remember one, and it's been that way for 15 years. After I spit them, I'm done. I understood where Cannabis was at, and I know he was in the military at the time. He was completely just detached from MCing, so I figured he was just his head was somewhere else. But it's still
he's got a lot right.
Legacy. No.
Anybody that's ever been in that situation though can understand. Like sometimes you just don't have it, and sometimes you're just coming up against somebody that's better than you, yo. Even if they not better than you. If you were at your best that night, it was just a night. Yeah, it's like the Redskins against the Cowboys. Every year the Cowboys are good. The Redskins are likely to beat them.
I mean, if you look at it too, man, LL ain't no regular MC, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, LL is that dude. You know what I'm saying? Well, was that dude
when he want to be?
When he want to be,
that's exactly my point. So for you to submit your verse and then have cats without kind of trying to ruin their careers come back and be like, well, all I can say is that wasn't the verse I heard the first time.
Right.
To have LL go back and have to rewrite his joint.
But see, that's another thing though, because it's like LL, he has the machine behind him to do that, and then to back him up. You know what I'm saying? Because like we call him out, like, man, he went back and rewrote his verse, but LL got the popularity machine, man. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was all mad that Drake didn't respond to Joe Budden's airing him out 8 songs. You know what I'm saying? But Joe Budden was gonna ultimately lose. You know what I'm saying? Because Drake is he is the machine right now.
Well, Drake was a business decision in a little different way than LL business. Like,
well, Drake with Pusha T.
Pusha's right, but
I'm talking about with Buttons.
But I think it was still a business decision. Some people Some people can't handle not being the best. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I would bet L's first verse was probably dope. He still didn't take Cannabis on the song, even with the rewrite. Cannabis still had the dopest verse on the song by a long shot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think L had the name, the history, and the kind of the pedigree to get the benefit of the doubt. But anybody that's listening for bars or lyrics, I don't think anybody's like, well, yeah, LL had that. I don't think anybody's listening to that song and like, oh, smoke cannabis on that.
No, because even the verse that he rewrote wasn't all that. But I think that L had the right to, because if we're playing basketball, and this guy jumps in the game and throws a frisbee across the room, wait a minute, I gotta go get a frisbee, because he didn't know that Cannabis was gonna say grab the mic off my arm and da 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 da. So he went. He didn't write anything, that was super dope. So behind that, he just rewrote his verse. Since you're gonna say something about me, I'm gonna say something about you.
Right.
I think he had the leeway. It's okay.
Oh, I'm not mad at him.
Right.
I'm not mad at him. I'm just going back to support Steve's point about how dope Cannabis was. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. Look at this though.
Everybody's okay with that move?
Huh?
But what move?
Everybody's okay with L saying, "Oh no, I'm gonna rewrite my verse after that."
Yeah.
Am I okay with it?
But then he came back with Return the Ripper, man. And that shit was cold, man.
Oh, Return of the Ripper? I never heard that.
But
you
again,
know
like
what?
L is not a slouch. He's not a slouch. Nobody's saying he's a slouch. But Cannabis for 18 and 24 months was like, putting him on your song was a mistake, yo. It was a mistake. Everybody from A+ to the Lost Boys to
Lost
LL,
Boys. The Lost Boys joint, man,
putting him on
Cannabis
your
went for like
song was
4
a
minutes on that
mistake.
shit.
Bro, I'm the illest alive. Anybody who ain't feeling my shit ain't can suck my dick. Like, some of the stuff he said in that. An MC so ill I got AIDS afraid to catch me. What? What?
Yeah.
100 times better than the best is. I'm twice as arrogant as KRS is. Who wanted to test this?
Right.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
But you gotta be careful though, man. You gotta be careful. Man. You gotta watch your mouth when you talk about the legends. That's what my opinion. Just watch your mouth. I don't no kind of mistake. No kind of no greatness. No possibility of insult. Know who you talking to. And don't have your shadow cross the toes of a lion. Like, you gotta know. You gotta survey the land. That's what I thought. I think he's dope.
Okay, so
I think he's dope. But LL is one of the greatest of all time.
No doubt.
in my opinion.
No doubt. And for that.
So
first, were you talking about the LL, or were you talking about the twice as arrogant as KRS's line, or both kind of the LL?
I didn't know what the title.
His whole persona.
Don't touch KRS's name. Okay, watch your mouth. That's what I'm saying. Watch your mouth. If you want to eat, you want your residuals. You want to keep eating, right? You want to feed your family, right? Watch your mouth. That's what I'm saying. Don't let it be even clear. Don't get it no kind of twisted. That's my opinion.
I thought that was,
I'm with that. I'm with that.
100%. Respect to KRS.
I'm saying, like, you don't go up to Mike Tyson and like, yo, slap him on the back, like, joking. Like, you be clear. That's Mike Tyson. Yeah. So if whatever you doing, Mike Tyson, you be clear. This is what's gonna happen to you. That's what I still just saying.
You want to go night night?
But on the LL part though, I think
right.
I don't have a problem with any of Cannabis's verse. I don't. And I understand where you're coming from, Midskool, but I don't have a problem with his verse because I think it's a dog eat dog world, yo.
So, Mr. Rashid,
for that 18, 24 months.
Yeah, I agree with you though. I have no problem with his verse also. I think he did to everybody else. I think Cannabis is dope. I think the only thing that if he did it, you gotta lean in. So if you wanted to do it, then lean in and go 100%. Like, go hard. Just go hard. But he didn't, and he kind of, he got like, he saw that ghost, like they said, like sometimes people in war they see the elephant. He saw the elephant and he backed up. So I said, like, yo, if you're gonna go at him, be clear, like, and then go all in. So I agree, he was dope. He was killing it so many times. You had to rewind his verse, do. But that's LL, yo. He do that for a living.
Did he come back after LL's Return to Ripper? He ain't come back, did he?
I don't remember.
He did some stuff.
Something
He did
around
the Mike
knockout or
Tyson
something like
joint.
that.
He did the second round knockout joint with Mike Tyson, and then he did another joint. After that, Wyclef did a joint. Like it, it got kind of weird after that.
Can I just say, Mr. Rashid, I 100% agree with you that Cannabis is dope. The only thing, lean in. That's all. Lean in and just go like that.
Go big or go home. Shit.
Go big or go home.
My only thing is,
and again, I don't know
question
that
is
it
how
was
this
meant to
started.
be. I don't know that it was meant to be disrespectful initially. I think
You don't have to mean it though. You have to mean it.
I'm not arguing that. But again,
how does borrowing the mic off of somebody's arm?
If you're LL,
you're taking off his skin, his flesh.
Soft,
Yeah.
But how
That's
do you get that
I looked
soft?
at that as creative, saying, "Hey, let me borrow the mic on your arm."
I know.
L just took it the wrong way.
Mine is like, you didn't say,
I know. But do you know who I like? If I'm LL, do you know who I am? Don't touch nothing near me. Don't touch nothing near me. Don't talk nothing.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Respect my whole everything.
Yeah.
Besides my
Who are
skill,
you?
my contribution.
Right.
Who was you?
Can I
Be happy to be on the track.
Thing back in the
Can I
90s.
say it like this?
Yes.
Say it like this. Allen Iverson
right.
to this day will tell you when he looked at Jordan, he was like, "Yo, that's God." But this is my opportunity to give it to him, and I gotta do it.
But Cannabis didn't do that though. He didn't lean in. He did a little like verse.
But I don't think that was his intention. I don't think his intention.
I don't think his intention initially was to lean in. I think
he was trying to give him props.
Yo,
Exactly.
Give him props.
He misread the play. He misread the play. He tried to do some zig dag. You had to go for a linebacker to the hole and break through and go for the touchdown. You can't do no zig zag.
I think Cannabis did what he did on everybody else's.
But LL, he's LL. He could do that.
Has
So,
anyone
I agree.
since Cannabis?
Not arguing it, but I think LL played it kind of soft. That's what I'm saying. I think.
Can I just say I disagree, and I respect LL.
I disagree with that. Yeah.
He's one of the greatest of all times. I do not think LL is soft. I want to just say that.
I didn't say I think LL is soft.
Played it soft.
I don't.
Right.
No, you can't borrow my mic.
Okay, I disagree that he played himself.
I don't want that problem. I'm not asking for no physical confrontation. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, I disagree. I don't think LL was soft. I want to just say that. That's all.
I didn't say I thought he was soft. I said I thought he played that soft.
That's that nuance, right? Like that person's name.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm saying
the man's mic
to
off
go
the arm.
back.
He took it easy on him, is what you're trying to say, right?
To go back and rewrite.
I now know now.
Like
Don't borrow no man's mic.
Yeah, I just
use your own mic.
and I also think that was in a strange way an acknowledgement to how dope his verse was.
I agree with you so much, and I feel very sad that LL did that to that young upcoming guy. Like LL, I wish he could have like let him live, or like let's just talk about it. Like show respect. But that's LL, so you messing with a lion, and that's what happened. But I wish he would have like let him live a little bit. But that's LL. That's what he do. So
Return of the Ripper.
I'm gonna go listen to that because I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I think Cannabis was also his own worst enemy. You can't. It's hard to be that much doper than everybody and have people want you around them. Like this, my show. How you gonna come tear it down, and then I gotta go on after you? Like Jay-Z said about DMX, he's like, yo, I'm out there. He got people crying. It's a stadium. Then he prayed. Autographs. He's like, I don't know how to follow that up. I'm gonna just do a bunch of acapella rock.
Mr. Rachel,
I ain't heard a Cannabis track after Return of the Ripper. I ain't heard one. After Return of the Ripper was over.
But I think if he had just leaned in, he was so great at that time. But like, do you remember when Kendrick Lamar wrote that song about everybody?
Control.
Yeah, that was it. And then people were like, whoa. But he leaned in after that. Like, yup. And he's like, that's right. But I'm leaning in. Let's go. Who is it? Who are all the legends? Let me go at, like, boom. He leaned in. Cannabis had a chance.
He named a
said
lot
the
of them
same
young
thing.
boys. There's some names
of
that
Rob.
he didn't. There's some names he didn't put out there. Now, granted, it may have been that class of MCs. So I'll go back and listen to it. But I remember there was some names he didn't mention.
I don't think none of them don't want to with K-Dot though, man.
No.
They don't want to with K-Dot.
No.
That's
K-Dot
strategy,
really a
though.
battle rapper though?
You said
What's
what?
that?
Is K-Dot a true battle rapper? I mean, is he somebody that could literally smoke somebody on the track?
Kareem Muse with one to dial. Yo, Dragon's Pitchfork. Yeah. Back in the day, today, it's all the same. Originality, tag a train, get fame, spit flame. My partner's name, Godzilla. I be a hard to kill killer. In a group form, in ciphers all night long. Now they only cipher at BET Awards. The show I heard about. I get bored and freestyle. Me and my man be the one to dial. Before smartphones, I was attacking clones. If it was known, it was known. No hashtags, but skills you had to have. Or good energy. The rules don't change. We something like referees.
In black and white zebra stripes like wow. Control the game and blow the whistle on anything that's foul. My style is borderline pristine. It's like magic, how I'm worthy of showtime when I rhyme with Kareem. Oh yeah. I'm from the days of word is bond, when the kid had the more than ad-lib to get on. Emit devilish flame every time I perform, and keep a dragon's pitchfork inside a black Yukon. Most will miss that, I ain't got time to explain. Suffice to say, what I say is worthy of praise. Digest that, two things I am, sick and black. Charge a handle, pull back, keep him in line like a click track. Mumble a trap to choose which evil is less as a stressor. The doc said it's bad for my blood pressure, so I stick to hip-hop and concoct something fresh as new linen, but smooth as single malt butterscotch. Yo, it's way too easy. Way too easy.
Out of here last night. I swore I saw the devil in the living.
Barbecue chicken wings and shiny cars, rims spinning, half dressed women, the world is ours. Yeah, stay on my grind, East 99. More thugs, camouflage drugs with turpentine. 4th of July, how many times will bottle rockets pop off, taking another life? Temperatures hot as McDonald's fries, sporting tank tops and flip flops. Guess who trending on TikTok? Backyard birthday parties and kids running around trying to do the new dance to the sounds in the summertime. Project life, living like good times. My people all over the world, we celebrate. Clementine lemonade in the shade, playing spades with a stocking cap, trying to grow me some waves. We all get involved, this casting dogs, bumping Biggie Smalls, round of applause. We did it all in the. We came up together, tougher than leather. Used to run with DMC, try to keep the family together. Mama came home late from her workspace, try to hook us up with a hot plate, couple cube steaks. Pop was a Rolling Stone, pocket full of stones. Cop patrol the city, we roam, we made it home in a.
Let it be known. Hey yo, the boy D-Mon just gave you a photogenic view of summertime in the shop. Summertime in the city of wind. Real spitters. Hey yo, we got T-Bay on the cuts. I go by Tobias Black, aka Tobias the Gallant. Real rhymer. Boom bap is alive and well. Understand. GRYSKLL.